guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be telling you all the characteristics and things you will need if you are thinking about getting a ferret. Ferrets are really hard pets to own, but at the same time, they make great pets. Ferrets are awesome pets. I personally love mine, but at the same time, they can be very hard to own. For a lot of people, ferrets are not the right pet. And for people that want ferrets as an alternative to a cat or dog even, don't think that. Ferrets are more work than a dog. I don't care what the size is. It is more work. They cost just as much as a dog, personally. I have 3 dogs, so I do know. I have 3 huskies. So, I personally think that they are just as hard, and they are not cage pets. Yes, they live in a cage, but they should have, my ferrets have 6 hours of free roam time, and even that isn't the amount that some ferret owners do. Some of them free roam all the time. I personally don't feel comfortable with that, but it is what you need to do. You can't have your ferret out for just like an hour a day. That is not enough for them because, as you can see, they may be tiny, but they need to burn their energy somehow. Okay, so now let's get into the video. Can I, Lily? You need to be in the video more? No. Go. You need to be caring. Your ferret, you need to be okay with them. You need to play with them. You need to hug them up. You need to be caring with them. They need their owner, and that is something that they need. Right? Yes. So that is very important. If you want to own a ferret, you need to have that. You also need to have done your research. You can't just say, okay, they're cute, now I'm going to go buy one, because ferrets, as I explained earlier, are very hard pets to own. You need to do all this stuff for them, and 75% of them get cancer, 65% insulinoma, and 70% get adrenal disease. So it is very hard to own ferrets because you need to do your research first. And I feel like a lot of people don't do their research, and then ferrets end up in the shelters. And that's not right for them because they're super hard pets to own. And, well, they stink. If you want your ferret to live with you, your rooms are going to smell like them for the rest of your life. They smell. It's not their cage, it's them. They smell. Don't think, well, I'm going to clean my litter box better than the pet store, and they're going to smell better than what they smell like in the pet store. Well, whatever you smell in the pet store, think that your ferret's going to smell the exact same. Because, yes, maybe they are in smaller cages. Maybe there are more pets in that store. Maybe a lot of people stereotype people. And it's not true that they don't do the work. They don't clean the litter box every day for them. That's not true at all. A lot of good pet stores do all of that work, and it's not true. So maybe you think that, but that's not even half of the pet stores. A lot of them are very good with their ferrets, and it's a bigger pet store pie than your room. And so if your ferret's only going to be in your room, it's just going to smell more. That's just how it works. So you are going to need to think about that. Ferrets smell a lot, so you need to think about that. You also need time for them. Time is very important. My ferrets, as I said, have 2 to 6 hours a day about time, I'd say, because some days I do have other things. I do figure skating. I can't do things all the time. I still go to school, but I make time for them so that they get the right amount of time that they need. They need time out. They are not cage pets. Think of a ferret how you would a dog. You can take them on walks. You can buy harnesses. Don't do that if your ferret's under 1, or a harness will not fit them and they will squeeze out. But still, ferrets need lots of out time because they are this energetic. And she's already exercised. And she's still like this. And she probably always will be. It's okay. It's not that far down. And yeah, so really, ferrets, they need a lot of time, especially if you want to litter train them. I put this girl for 6 months, and she still has only used the litter box maybe 7 times, and that's probably me helping her. They just don't like it, and it's going to take a long time. Melvin, is a litter-trained ferret. He loves to use the litter box. Right? Yeah, you. I see you looking at me. And Lily just hates it. Some ferrets are like that, and you can't really change it, and ferrets will always be like that. You also need to be kind with your ferret, because your ferret is going to drive you nuts. They will. Like, I have so many scratches on my arm just from right now that I've gotten just because she's climbing on me. And that's just from right now. And you're going to need to be kind with them because it's not their fault. That's just how they are. They're crazy. They will be annoying. This girl will dig at her cage saying she wants to come out. Second later, poop on your floor. They do things like that. But you need to think, well, it's not their fault. That's just what they do. She's just trying to be clean and not having a poop inside of her house. I mean, don't we all want that? To not have a stinky house. And you also need to put your ferrets first. Like any pet, your ferret should be your top thing. You can't put anything in front of your ferret because they are your pet. They are your responsibility. You can't put anything in front of them. And these are going to be with you for the rest of their life. And you can't say, oh, you know what? I need to go to a friend's party. Sorry, I can't take you to your vet visit. Or sorry, I can't let you out today. You can't do that. And if your friends don't like you because you didn't go to the party, then, well, they're probably not even good friends, and you shouldn't be with them. This ferret needs to be your number one priority. That's the word. Thank you. And they need to be your thing. They need to be the one thing that you will put everything else behind them. Because that's just how important they are. They need you to survive. They have nothing without you. You can't ditch them. Okay. You also need to have a lot of patience. And I know I already touched a bit on that, but it's really important because, well, you're going to have something like this that's not going to use the litter box for 6 months. And now if I put her in it, she'll jump right out. She hates it. She won't let me put her in there for 1 second. And then they're going to just do that, and they're going to scratch you. They may even bite you, but they're not trying to hurt you. You need to remember that, and you need to have patience with them because it's going to take them forever to do simple things. And, yeah, this is one that's kind of hard, but you need to be careful with them. If you drop them for more than a foot up, they will break their bones. They get hurt very easy. And a lot of people think, well, they have a super flexible back. They can do pretty much anything with their back, which is true. And if you want, you can skip past the next 30 seconds me explaining why they have, thanks for the kisses, why they have a flexible back, then you can. They have a flexible back. Let me explain this. So we have our bones, but to here. These are our bones, and cartilage goes all the way up. So then we can only bend a little bit without touching the cartilage, just like that. But ferrets have less. So then it bends all the way down. So then in their back, that's how they can bend all the way around because it just bends sideways. So hopefully that makes sense, but that's sort of how it works. You need to be with them for the end. Be with your ferret until the end because although it's not a nice topic, but it is important. Your ferret, you can't ditch them. You are their one and only. They won't love anyone else but you. And maybe you will, but you are their favorite thing in the world. So you can't ditch them halfway through their life, or maybe you say, oh, well, you know what? It's 6 years old. It's going to die anyways. I don't want to be sad about it. And you put it in a shelter. Well, that's not fair to it. And I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. And don't just give your ferret, if you're putting it on Kijiji, the first house you find. Give them to the one that you think is the best. Because you need to be with them. If you're thinking of buying a ferret and then ditch them, then you're not a good ferret owner. That's just not something you can do. Ferret lifespan is 5 to 10 years, by the way. If you get a Marshall, it's probably more like 5 to 7. If you get one that's a breeder, like Lily here, then it's probably going to live closer to 7 to 10. And the oldest ferret was 14, which is double lifetime, pretty much. Okay, you're going away. I don't want to see you. And also, another thing on the patience category, Melvin loves biting holes into his beds. So he will bite them and turn it into like a hammock. And just today I walked into my room to find all this fluff everywhere. He does that. Fluff is very bad for your ferrets. So don't give them anything like this because it's just not good. So yeah, you will wake up to something like that and it's not good. All ferrets have weird things about them. He grinds on everything. He grinds his teeth on everything and can make these huge holes, and then you come out with this in his bed. Beds actually last us a long time. So hammocks are good in that way. Yeah, so that's what I like. You need to have a good room if you're thinking of getting a ferret because they need lots of space. Not just this cage. And this cage I know is taller than me. It's a huge cage, but that's just average for 2 ferrets. And if you want to have more ferrets, this cage would probably fit 5. But if you want to have a ferret, get the Double Ferret Nation personally. I think it's an amazing size, amazing cage, and I just love it. So you need to have a big room for them, and you need to think, you need ferret proof. Ferret proofing is a big, big category. Ferrets are tiny. Let me use you as an example because you want to come out. If you look, if she eats something, which she loves to do because she's evil, right? You're evil. Yeah. It will go down and it'll get really big and it'll get stuck right around here. Yeah, right where your ribs are. And then she won't be able to make it come back out. So it gets stuck. And you might need to go in the vet, or you really need to do blockage protocol. There's lots of videos about this, but you feed them water through a tube and pumpkin puree, and then you feed them Vaseline, hoping it comes out. And that makes them need to go to the washroom, Vaseline. So they will eat anything, even just those really, really tiny Legos, that could kill them. Really, anything can. And if your ferret is acting weird, then that could be it. And so I want you to think about that more. If you're getting a ferret, these are just things that you should do now. You should be crafty because ferrets are a very specific pet. Not a lot of stores sell things for them. If there's a disease about a dog, they'll quickly do a whole bunch of research. But there's been ferrets who have eaten catnip and they've then had seizures. But we don't know if that's actually because of the catnip because no one's actually researching about it because scientists, it's not a big category of ferrets. So you're going to need to be crafty. You can't just go to the dollar store and buy a ferret toy. You need to buy them a cat toy. So you need to be crafty in making things for them, like hammocks, or even just think of other things to do. I make ornaments and paintings with my ferrets, so a lot of cool videos are made about that. And another thing is a cage, so you're going to need to get a cage for them, a pretty big one, personally, I think. I think this one's the perfect size. This is pretty much everyone's favorite cage that I know with a ferret. Just to show you the size difference, this is me beside it. And so it's really tall. I think I'm going to say 2 meters tall. And yeah, so it's my favorite cage personally. I think everyone who has had a ferret usually gets the Ferret Nation cage. I haven't known anyone without it. And yeah, that's my favorite. Which brings me on to the next thing, money. The price of a ferret is a lot. And it costs just as much as a dog personally, I think. This cage here, I think is $450 on Amazon, I'm going to say. And just all of their stuff is expensive. My kibble is the cheapest good kibble I can find. And it's $50 for them for this little bag. And so ferrets are just expensive. And a lot of people feed their ferrets raw meat. And even that's hard to find. You need to go to like a butcher and get this scrap meats because they like other things like esophagus and things like that. I personally don't feed my ferrets raw. I have other videos on explaining why I don't feed my ferrets raw, but that is their price. They are very expensive pets, and I do like freeze-dried food. I feed them that sometimes. I mix it into their food. Do not, and I repeat, do not buy your ferrets cat food. My ferrets came on cat food, but right the second I switched them on to ferret food, they were healthier. She was playing, which she never did before, and to be honest, she did have adrenal, which might have been part of it, but she started playing like crazy, and the vet said that nutrients she was missing is the things that no cat food has, almost none. And then we got her onto it, and this vet said she's getting much better, much healthier. And Melvin here has opened up some new food. And before he would eat anything, now he eats fish oil and ferret food. And if I take a long time, he can switch over to a new food. How you do that is you do a quarter of the new food, 3/4 normal, and then you change it to a half after a week, 3/4 until you make it up to full. And you do that every week. And then they sort of switch onto it. You should do food rotation for multiple reasons. I like it because different foods have different nutrients, so it actually balances it out, and then they get a little bit of everything good. So, hopefully that makes sense. I know it was a lot, but some of the things I did say is caring, do your research, money, be kind. They're the most important thing to you. You need to have a vet near you. That's another thing I want to say. A lot of vets don't do it, and I need to go to an emergency vet with them because no vets near here do exotics, especially with COVID. They just don't do it, and ferrets are considered exotic pets for some reason. And whenever you need to go to emergency clinic, way more money, and exotics, way more money. Super expensive to get a ferret to go to the vet visit. You need to have patience. You need to be with them till the end. And I know this is a hard thing for a lot of people to talk about. Do you need to be doing this now? Melvin, it's almost done. Okay. You need to have a cage, a room, be crafty, and try not to have anger issues. I know it's hard for a lot of people, but you need to be patient with them and don't get mad at them. It's not their fault that they are this. I gotcha. I caught you. I caught you, buddy. But you need to learn to not do that. And they will do things like that, and every ferret is saying weird. That's just saying with them. And you need to be calm with them and patient and try to train them to not do it. And I'm not saying it will be easy, but you will get there. So if you are thinking of getting a ferret, do your research. And really, I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours. I do around an hour a day of research, and I started 2 years ago. So I've done a lot of research, and that's how I got my ferrets. And you need to show responsibility in that you can get a ferret. Don't just give someone a ferret for Christmas if they say, oh, that thing's cute, now I want it. Don't just give them a ferret because it's probably going to go back to the shelter. And we don't want that for our ferrets, right? Right? Yeah. So hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you try some of these things. I know it's hard, but a lot of people just aren't good ferret owners. And if you're not, then, well, you're going to need to really work on it. And ferrets just might not be right for you. And I want you to keep trying, and you will find the right pet. So hopefully you like this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.